Good morning, Scarlett. I got a good story for you today. Christmas story. This is Frosty the Snowman. Oh man, we got a good one today. Man, it all started with the snow, the first snow of the season. As every child knows, there's a certain magic to the very first snow. And when it falls the day before Christmas, something wonderful is bound to happen. Look at that. Man, they got all kind of snow going on there, huh? Children, back in your seats, called the teacher. The snow can wait. I hired Professor Hinkle. He's a magician to entertain y'all for the Christmas party. Unfortunately, Professor Hinkle was just about the worst magician in the world. He was terrible. Man. Also, I put eggs in the magic hat, Professor Hinkle said. Abracadabra, and voila, the eggs have turned into a big mess. Where's my rabbit? Hocus Pocus, where are you? He didn't know that his rabbit Hocus Pocus was hiding in the hat. Look at that, man. What's going on there? But the hat didn't stay. But only one thing the hat is good for, the trash can. That's it. He's going to throw the hat in the trash can, Scarlet. But then that's when Hocus Pocus jumped out of the hat. But the hat didn't stay there for long. Hocus Pocus underneath, he hopped out the door with the hat just when the bell rang. And all the kids went running after Hocus Pocus in the hat. Hey, look at the snow, the children cried as they ran outside. They worked together. They were going to build their first snowman of the year. Once the children had given him eyes, a nose, and a mouth, it was time to name him. They said, "How about Frosty?" Karen said. "Frosty the Snowman." The children danced around as they sang about his button nose and his eyes made out of coal. "Come back here, you!" cried Professor Hinkle, chasing Hocus Pocus. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew the hat onto Frosty's head. Look at that. And then they was all dancing around, and then the Frosty the Snowman, he got a hat now. And what happened? Oh my God, happy birthday! Frosty the Snowman came alive. Karen Grasman said that hat brought Frosty to life. It must be magic. When Professor Hinkle heard that, he wanted the hat back. "But it's not yours anymore," Karen said. "That hat will make me a millionaire," said the greedy magician, taking the hat back. Hocus Pocus felt the hat really did belong to Frosty, so he hop back to Frosty and the children as fast as he could. See, Hocus Pocus knew what's going on. He's going to rabbit took the hat back to Frosty. "Happy birthday," said Frosty again as soon as the hat was placed on his head. "I said my first words. Look, I'm alive. What a neat thing to happen to a nice guy like me." Look at that Frosty there. He got a pipe and everything. The magic hat made Frosty dance around. The children cheered as Frosty began to laugh and play with them. There had never been such a wonderful day. Look at them, they're dancing around with Frosty and everything, huh? When the sun peeked out from behind the clouds, Frosty said, "Oh, I'm a wishy-washer. I'm starting to melt." The children knew they needed to take Frosty someplace cold where he'd never melt, like the North Pole. So they decided to go to the railroad station and find a train for Frosty. "Let's have a parade through town," shouted Frosty. "Come on, kids, follow the leader." Look at them guys there. They're all marching down the street with Frosty in the front. As soon as it was time for the train, Frosty to leave. I'll go with you, Frosty, said Karen. I'm sure I'll be back in time for supper. She didn't know how far the North Pole is away. Oh, man. Karen, Frosty, and Hocus Pocus jumped into the refrigerated boxcar on the train and they headed north. No one saw Professor Hinkle sneak under the train. Hold on, that sneaky guy, he's going to try to get his hat back because he wants that hat. He's greedy. The refrigerated boxcar is a splendid way to travel. Splendid, that is, if you're a snowman, but not if you're, or a furry coated rabbit, but not for a little girl like Karen. She was getting cold. She was getting very cold. So when the freight train made a stop, Frosty got them all out. No one saw Professor Hinkle. He jumped off too. Oh man, that guy's going after them, huh? Frosty took Karen and Hocus to a wooded glen where they found the animals decorating the trees for their celebration. They knew Santa Claus was going to be coming that night. After Hocus Pocus spoke to the animals, they agreed to build a campfire for Karen so she could keep warm. But it didn't take long for Professor Hinkle to catch up with them. Oh, man. The animals are going to help them out. But that Professor Hinkle, he's not a very good guy, is he? Get on my shoulders, Karen, said Frosty. Since he was made of snow, he was the fastest belly whopper in the world. Soon he and Karen were sliding down the hill, leaving that greedy professor far behind. At the bottom of the hill was a tiny greenhouse growing poinsettias for Christmas. It was the perfect place for Karen to warm up. Frosty, you'll melt in here, Karen said, but only if I stay in for a minute. Frosty assured that was nasty professor hadn't caught up with them once again. He looked in the door, though. Look at that. Man, see that? He's looked in the door. I know what he's going to do. That night, Hocus Pocus. Oh, he locked the door. That's what he did. He locked the door, and then it's too hot in there. Frosty's going to melt. That night, Hocus Pocus led Santa to the greenhouse to save Frosty, but by then, Frosty had melted away completely. Don't cry, Karen said Santa Claus. Frosty's not gone for good. You'll see he was made out of Christmas snow. That's a very special snow. You can bet your boots that when a good jolly December wind kisses it, it'll turn into Christmas snow all over again. Just watch. Santa opened up the door. When the wind whirled in, Frosty was back up. See that? There he goes. Santa was about to place the magic hat on Frosty's head when Professor Higgins said, I want that hat. I want it now. Santa replied, if you touch this hat, I'll never bring you another Christmas present. Go home right now and write, I'm very sorry for what I did to Frosty 100 zillion times. Then maybe, just maybe, you'll find something in your stocking tomorrow. Professor Hinkle was very sorry indeed. He ran straight home and started writing. Happy birthday, said Frosty once again. Karen was happy to see her friend, but now it's time to go home. Santa put Karen on his sleigh and promised he would take Frosty back to the North Pole with him. See, that Santa got him there, huh? Karen hated to say goodbye to Frosty, but Santa said Frosty could return every year with the magical Christmas snow. Frosty waved goodbye as they hurried on their way, and he shouted, a promise to return the following Christmas and every year. And he did that. He did all that. How about that? So I hope you like that story. That's one of my favorite stories. I love you. Mwah.